Hello, hello! 2025 is in full swing. We just finished moving the studio into its new forever home. It was quite a way to start off 2025, but that's all behind us. While all of that was going on, I had plenty of time to think about all my hopes and dreams for the year ahead. And one of my favorite ways to make goals now is by creating a bingo board. So I made a bingo board for, can you believe it, last year, and we did not hit bingo, but I did cross off almost half of them. I think a big reason that we didn't end up hitting bingo is because, first of all, there was just a lot going on, and all of the spaces that were on my bingo board were in conflict with what was going on for the business. So it was really hard to work on those bingo spaces because then I would have to ignore what needed more attention going on with the business. So we didn't hit bingo. That's okay. This year I made the bingo board with a little bit more intention. I gave myself some easy wins. I made sure that all the spaces kind of work well with my day-to-day and focus on what's important to me. So I'm feeling good about this year. So I wanted to make this video to basically unpack my 2025 bingo board in case there's anyone out there who is curious about what every space means. I did ask Instagram what spaces they wanted to hear more about and if they had any questions on them. So I have notes here with all of that, and then I have a copy of my bingo board here with a bunch of notes. You can also see it behind me right here in a much less scary version. Basically, I decided to create a few different categories for myself. So I have some spaces that are easy wins. I have a bunch of spaces that are centered around marketing and social media, some spaces that are focused on wholesale. And then kind of once we get to the more fun side, it's like new products and designs, some wildcard spaces, and then things that are important to me as a person. And at the very end, I'm gonna share some of the rejected spots from the bingo board that didn't quite make it for one reason or another. We're gonna kick it off with the easy spaces. The easiest space on any bingo board ever is the free space, and I did the same thing for this one that I did last year, which is celebrating our business birthday. Can you believe it? We'll turn 6 years old on March 1st, so that's gonna be our free space. And then what goes hand in hand with that is launching the 2025 birthday collection. This is a collection I launch year after year. I kind of let go of any preconceived notions of what new products I need to be making, what new designs I need to be creating, and I just do whatever I want. And it is so fun. I really get to lean into my own personality for that collection. And I also create designs that I feel like really encapsulates what happened for the business in that past year. So currently in planning for the 6th birthday collection. It's gonna be so good. It's so fun. I'm so excited. So that is the first collection that's on the bingo board. And then the second collection that's on there is launching the 2025 mental health collection. This is a collection I do year after year, typically in May when it's Mental Health Awareness Month. This is something I started doing in 2020, and I have done it year after year, and it is consistently one of my favorite collections to design because it's just really lovely to make people feel seen and heard through designs that I create with my own two hands. I love that. Other spaces in the easy realm are 2 new coloring books. These are coloring books that I have planned for this year. I'm planning a coffee coloring book, which is gonna be like fun, cozy cafe vibes. And then I'm planning a quote coloring book, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's nothing but words. And this is because I made some coloring books last year to help satisfy the comments of people saying there were too many words in my coloring books. So now I'm making one to satisfy the comments from people who say they love coloring words, and so do I. That's my favorite thing to color. And can you believe it was really built around quotes and lettering? So the quote coloring book is planned to be part of the 6th birthday collection because that just makes the most sense in my head. The one thing is I can't really come up with a name for it because just calling it the quote coloring book, I don't like that. So I'll have to look at what all the quotes I pick out have in common and then see if I can come up with a cute little name for it from there. The very last space in the easy category is sending out 12 newsletters. This is just a really easy win for me. If you've been around this business long enough, you will know that I send out a monthly newsletter every month with business updates and freebies and other fun things. And I've been doing this for over 5 years now, which I'm honestly pretty impressed with myself that I've kept it up that long. So I decided to send 12 newsletters on the bingo bingo board as a way to cross that off just super easy once we hit December 1st. So that space kind of goes along with the next category, which is the marketing and social media spaces that are on my board. These are spaces that either help to keep people coming back to my business or help to increase awareness about my business or just kind of things along those lines. So in the email realm, I mentioned the 12 newsletters. The other thing I want to do is I want to run 3 secret sales for email subscribers. And this is because I ran a secret sale at the end of last year, and I basically just sent out an email to my email subscribers to say all apparel is buy one, get one free. And I let them know 12 hours in advance before anyone else found out. And I didn't post about it anywhere, like didn't post any stories of, hey guys, check your emails. Like I just did it. And I just felt so sneaky. I was like, hee hee at the computer, and I watched the orders roll in, and people were so excited to have that exclusive access. And my email list is my favorite way to connect with my customers. And I always want to reward the people who are there for sticking around. But I had so much fun with that I decided to put secret sales on my bingo board. I don't know what the sales are going to be yet. The BOGO sale was a pretty big discount, so it probably wouldn't be something like that. But you know, just something when I'm feeling like, you know what, we should do a secret sale, and then I'll do it. Yeah, if you want to sign up for my email list, I will list the link in the description for you, and you'll get freebies every month. You'll get my monthly newsletter, lots of fun business updates, and you'll get access to those secret sales. Moving on to social media of this category, I put reach 25,000 Instagram followers on the board. This is because my Instagram following is just, you know, slowly growing as it does over time. And I really love connecting with the community on Instagram. It's such a safe space for me most of the time, as long as internet bullies don't come around. I think I just passed 20,000 followers, so 25,000 seemed like a pretty solid number to pick next. Really, I probably just need 1 or 2 viral reels and we'll get that, or it'll just slowly happen over the course of the year, maybe. If we don't hit that one, that's fine. Like, I don't really feel like follower count matters. I just always want to continue growing my Instagram community, so I felt that it was important to put that on the board. That's like the only way you can really measure that it's growing. And then in this realm, I want to continue putting effort into YouTube. First up, I want to get 12 long form videos posted to YouTube this year. This is just something I put on the board to make sure that I am being consistent and showing up on this platform. The more that I spend time on YouTube, the more that I think this is a really good way to connect with everybody. So on that note, if there are any topics that y'all really want to hear more about, or specific things you want to see going on in the print shop or the packing side of the business or the designing, anything, if you love vlogs more or you like more tips and tricks, let me know in the comments, because I'm all ears and I'm totally open to suggestions about how to reach those 12 long form videos. And honestly, I'm hoping I can do more than that this year, but 1 video a month seemed very attainable in terms of a goal. And on that note, I'm hoping I can reach monetization status on YouTube. And the main reason I want to do this is because I want to be able to tag my products. So I need to reach the first tier of monetization for that. And that is what I am considering done for my bingo board. But if I reach that second tier where I am also making money from ads, like, I'm not going to complain about it. But just for the record, we're just looking at that first tier. And because of a viral short from a few weeks ago, I am like 2/3 of the way there. So hopefully that will be happening sooner than later. All right, switching gears, we're moving on to the spaces that are centered around wholesale. So I have 3 spots that belong to this category. First up is a spot that was left over from 2024, and that is finishing my wholesale catalog. And I really don't have any excuse as to why this didn't get done in full. Like, we started it, I have all of the bases set up for it, and we just need to actually put it together. And life just got crazy. I don't know. When I'm ready to go back to it, I feel like it's gonna go pretty quick because I am set up really well for success for it now because we did a SKU overhaul. We did a lot of work on making sure product photos were consistent and all kinds of other things. So I just need to do a little data merge in InDesign and then format everything to look nice, and like my catalog will be done. And for those of you who don't know, the catalog is basically what you give to retailers to say, hey, here are all of our products. Here's the SKUs and pictures. It's a physical thing that they can flip through, kind of like a magazine, and they can use that to then place orders. And a big reason I need to get that catalog done sooner than later is because I'm really hoping to attend a trade show this year for wholesale. This was also left over from my 2024 bingo board, but halfway through last year, I realized that I was trying to jump into that goal too soon. So I kind of just told myself, you know what, we're gonna leave that space alone last year and we'll put it on 2025 again. Trade shows are where retailers go to see products in person and hopefully place orders in person, but if not, at least you gain some more brand awareness with those retailers and maybe they turn around and place an order with you online. But for this, the trade show I am looking at is the Dallas temporary trade show that happens, I believe, in the beginning of June. We actually went up to Dallas a few weeks ago to walk the winter show just to get eyes on it and make sure it's something that I would actually want to participate in. And it was really fun to see in person, and I could totally see it being beneficial for me. And in order to really commit to this space while I was there, I actually already signed up for my booth for the summer. And this is scary because it's not like a small business market where the booths are like $100 to $400. These booths are $2,500 plus. So it's a pretty big chunk of change. And my goal is just to break even at that show. And that is all I'm going to be asking for because it's going to be my first one. I'm going to be learning the ropes. It's a whole different realm from doing pop-up events. I put that event on the calendar because it really helps me when I have clear deadlines that match goals, because then I'm forced to work on it. Otherwise, it's kind of like an out of sight, out of mind thing. And then on that note, I'm hoping that I can reach 100 active retailers for Can You Believe It this year. At the very start of the year, that number was at 65. And what I'm considering active retailers are retailers who have purchased in the past 6 months. So that number could fluctuate depending on how the timing works out, but we are putting so much effort into wholesale this year. So I'm really hoping we can get to at least there, if not more. So now we get to move to the side of the bingo board that is probably a little bit more fun for you guys, where it's like physical things that you can look forward to. So these are new products and designs, and then like I said, the wild cards. So for these, first up we have a third collection on the bingo board, and this is launching my first ever bookish collection. And I decided to put this on the board because I have added book related designs here and there over the past few years, and my customers love them, but I've never actually done a full bookish collection. Like, it's just the designs end up sprinkled in here and there. And knowing that they are very popular with my customers, I was kind of thinking like, why haven't I done a full bookish collection yet? Let's do it. So I put it on the bingo board, and there are 2 new product types that may end up part of this collection, or they may end up as their own separate launch. And that is launching Kindle/book sleeves. And this one was left over from 2024. I started it, I have prototypes here. Then the holiday season hit, and I was like, this is not the right time to launch these. Like, I don't have the mental capacity to devote to this project. So I put that on pause, but I will be picking those up again here pretty soon. I just need to send the designs over to my manufacturer, and then we can probably get those into production. And the other one is another spot that was left over from 2024, and that's designing a reading journal. This just makes sense because if you follow my business, you know we have paper production equipment in-house, and I'm a reader and I like journaling, so why not combine all of those things and create a reading journal for people to track all of their reading in. I've been asked for this several times from my customers because they just want to see what I would do with it, and I can tell you that I have some pretty exciting things planned for it. I'm really excited about when we finally get the ball rolling on this one. Another one that is left over from 2024 is launching planners. This is kind of along along those same lines. We have the equipment. It's something I want to do. Why haven't we done it yet? I couldn't tell you. And for this one, I have a very specific way of planning that I have never been able to find in a planner itself. So I'm really excited to be doing this because I'm going to be designing for me, and that's it. And then hopefully it's a style that other people like and want to buy, and they'd be a long-term offering. You know, we do planners with every new year and probably with every academic year. Obviously have an undated one. One other thing I've been thinking about with these planners is that because we have the production equipment in-house, we should be able to make it where you can buy a dated planner at any time of year and not have any wasted months. So like if you purchase in September, you can have it start in September. If you purchase in October, you can have it begin in October. I would just have to figure out the system for that, but we totally have the capabilities to accommodate that, because I know that it sucks buying a planner when the planner has already started, because you don't want to see those blank pages. Like, nobody does. So I think that's a really fun offering that we could potentially do. Next up is sticker books. And someone on Instagram asked what these were, and I totally understand why that question came up because I'm familiar with them, but if you're not, I feel like this could mean several different things. So for sticker books, these are books that are just filled with sticker release liner paper. So then all the stickers you buy, you can use it as a place to store them temporarily until you are ready to stick them to their forever home. This makes sense as a product for me to offer, A, because we have over 100 sticker designs in the shop, and B, I myself cannot commit to sticking my stickers. I'm such a fraud. So this is basically just a way to store stickers without having them free floating and losing them, and you can just peel them off whenever you're ready to add them to something permanently. The last space in this category is also a leftover space from 2024, but it's also a leftover goal pretty much from every year that I've been in business, and that is launching a subscription box. I say I'm going to do this every year, and every year I chicken out because I'm so scared that I'm gonna launch it and then I'm not gonna be able to come up with things for the box. Obviously, if people are signing up to make recurring payments on this, like, you need to be able to come up with ideas consistently. I put this on the bingo board last year because I was like, this is a perfect way to finally follow through on this, and it did get my gears turning, but it didn't end up panning out because, again, I kept chickening out. But the gears were turning. I have a name for it. I have like a general concept of it, and I know what the timing would be like. So I'll give you a little in on that. So the name we picked out is gonna be the Believer box, because my business is Can You Believe It? The frequency, it's gonna be a bi-monthly box, and by bi-monthly, I mean every other month, not twice a month. Bi-monthly has two meanings, and we are doing the one that is every other month. And the reason I did that is because that is a frequency that I feel comfortable with to start out, where I know for sure, like, okay, I could come up with these many ideas. I'm not worried about not being able to follow through. And then just in terms of like the contents of those box, I know for sure there would be a sticker every month. There would probably be a paper product that we make in-house. It could be like a notepad, it could be a jotter notebook, could be a little calendar thing, anything along those lines of just something that we created in-house. It could also be screen printed items, like a cute little tote bag or a pennant, or just anything made with my own two hands or the team's. And then the third thing would be just something that I designed and we outsourced the production of. So that could be like washi tape, magnets, pins, keychains, something fun along those lines. The price point would probably be around $15, and I want to have the shipping included in that price. And basically, I just want it to be a cute little box that you get really excited about, but it's not extra clutter for people, because I have signed up for subscription boxes where I end up having all this stuff that I don't want. So I don't want to do that. I just want to make it where it's this fun little pop of joy that shows up every once in a while. It doesn't feel overwhelming, doesn't feel like it's too much, and that people just really enjoy being part of. So I really do think 2025 is the year that this goal finally happens. And if it doesn't, I think that's it. I just have to give up on the idea, because clearly it's not meant for me. And the last thing about that space is that I did also tell myself that when I launch the subscription box, I'm going to try it for a year. Like, that's That's what I'm committing to. And then after that, I can reevaluate, decide if I actually like doing that or if I just liked it in concept and actually hate it in practice. So we'll find out. Stay tuned. I really hope this is coming this year. Now moving on to the wild card category, these are spaces that kind of just didn't fit in anywhere else. And also when I wrote them out, I was just like, yeah, why not? So for these, the first one is doing 8 pop-up events. And this one I had on my board last year as 10 pop-up events, and I did cross it off, but the exact number is down from last year. And I did this because I have realized that doing markets and pop-up events is a time suck in the wrong direction. Like the amount of return we are getting from doing those events, we've kind of plateaued, and I don't see a way that we can grow that anymore, which is just a hard decision to make as a business owner because I really do enjoy doing the pop-up events, but I need to start putting my efforts into things that have a little bit more room for growth. I put that on the board still. I did fewer events in total just so that there wasn't as much pressure attached to it. I do have one on the calendar already. We'll be at the Stationery Fest that is happening in Conroe, Texas in April. I signed up for that one more for me than for the business because it just sounds really fun, but hopefully it has a good turnout. Otherwise, I'm gonna be a little sad. Next up in the wild card category is hosting a workshop. And I just thought this would be fun to add because we have a 3,000 square foot workspace and we can bring people in here to do like a screen printing workshop or a journal making workshop or anything along those lines. I'm really not feeling too picky about what it could be. Honestly, I'm also willing to open up the space to another maker to have a workshop here and like we'll be the host. I just want more ways to connect and I think that would be really fun. So if there are any workshops y'all want, let me know. And last on the wild cards is painting a mural. I just put this on the board because I went to a conference last year and one of the speakers was a mural painter and she was so inspiring. I loved her. I just remember listening to her and being like, I should paint a mural next year. I should make that a goal. So I really don't have any ideas of what it would be or where it would be. I do know that if it gets to the end of the year and I'm still feeling this pull to paint a mural, I can paint one here at the studio inside. That's totally an option. That would totally count for the bingo space. And it'd be really cute. I think that would be fun. And the very last category is the most important category, and that is the spaces that are important to me as a person, as a business owner. First up is donating $10,000 to different organizations. This is a spot that was on my board last year, and we almost hit it, but we came up a little short because doing the moves just got really expensive, and I did not have money to spare. Since my business is so centered around mental health, I donate to 4 mental health organizations that are doing the hard work to spread mental health awareness and make mental health more accessible to different types of communities. So that is going to be To Write Love on Her Arms, the Loveland Foundation, the Trevor Project, and then an organization local to me is the Austin Mental Health Collective. So I make donations to those 4 organizations once a month. They're all equal donations and hopefully we'll reach 10,000 this year. I decided to keep the number the same just because I didn't hit it last year, so I didn't feel like I could increase that number goal and feel confident about it, but hopefully we surpass it. We will see. I'm a little nervous with all the TikTok ban stuff kind of being up in the air, so depending on what happens with business revenue, we might donate less this year than last year. I don't really know. We'll find out, but we're hoping for the best. Next up is designing 10 new patterns. This is just because I started designing a bunch of patterns last year and I really enjoyed it. It really challenges me as an artist. And once you design patterns, you can use those on so many different kinds of products. So designing patterns is one of those things that really has a good long-term result because I can constantly be reusing those patterns over and over again, which isn't to say that my other designs can't be reused over and over again, but patterns can be used on pretty much anything, whereas the other designs can sometimes be limited in what you can use them on. Patterns are really fun. I'll obviously still be making tons of other designs like regular, but yeah, I just really wanted to challenge myself in the pattern realm. And the very last space, which is the most important space on this board, is taking 5 business days off per quarter. And this is here because I faced the worst burnout of my life last year. I came very close to just calling it quits. And and deciding to shut down this business. And that makes me really sad to say out loud because I love this business. But I was so burnt out because I do not take time off no matter what. I'm so bad about it. And I need to be forced into it. It's so embarrassing. Like, I literally have no self-control. I take my laptop home and I'm like, oh, I might as well work. Always working. It's so bad. So I put 5 business days off each quarter on the bingo board so that I have to follow through. Someone asked what I would like to do with these days off. I don't know. All I know is that I cannot work. Designing on my iPad is fine. I don't consider that work. Drawing is fine. Anything more, if I'm whipping out the laptop to do whatever, that's work. And these have to be weekdays. They don't have to be consecutive. And I cannot make up not working on the weekend. Like, it needs to be a full day off, not making it up elsewhere. I have to follow through. And I'm such a bad example. I preach self-care and rest, and I cannot turn around and do that for myself, even almost 6 years in. It's so bad. Anyways, that spiel is over. And now we have arrived at the really fun topic of my rejected bingo spaces. So these are spaces that just didn't make it onto the board for one reason or another. I either realized maybe now wasn't the right time, or it doesn't necessarily need to be a bingo goal, or blah, blah, blah. First up on the list is starting a podcast. Clearly, I can talk a lot. And when I have my husband Trey next to me, we can yap about tons of stuff, just on and on and on. And we think we're hilarious. So we keep joking about starting a podcast, and we actually have a name picked out. We want to call it Talkin' with Kibby, but it would be like Talkin', K-Y-N. Maybe we're still workshopping it. I don't know. If we have to explain the name, then maybe it doesn't make sense. But yeah, we keep joking about this, and we actually have like a lot of ideas for episodes and things like that, just so we can yap and yap and yap with each other. So this space might still happen, but if it does, I really want it to just be like a passion project of a thing that we are just doing for funsies. So that's why I didn't put it on the board, because I didn't want to attach any pressure to it. But if you see a podcast announcement come soon, just know that it almost made it onto the bingo board. But also, I probably don't need to add any more things to my plate, which is why I also hesitated to put it on the bingo board. Keeping up with YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest is already like so many things, not to mention keeping up with just running the business and making designs and all the other things that go on. The podcast is just kind of, I've been weighing pros and cons for the past like 3 months now. But if it's something y'all want, let me know. Next in the rejects is just designing a calendar. I just decided not to put this on the board because I ran out of spaces. I think it could still happen, and I really want it to, because again, going back to that point from earlier, we have all the equipment. It just makes sense as a product to add. In the wholesale realm, I put large chain wholesale order on my potential bingo space lists, but I decided to drop this one because I know we would not be ready for this year. Like, it's a fun idea and concept, but I have heard enough from my maker friends to know that this is something that you really need to be prepared for, and we would just not get to that this year. So it might end up on the 2026 bingo board. I don't know, we'll see. And the last space, or two, I guess, is some new machinery for the warehouse, and that is investing in a foil stamping machine and or an embroidery machine. These are just two machines that I have always wanted for the business. I really want to do foil stamped pencils, and I really love embroidered apparel. But like I said earlier, knowing how busy I am with how things are right now, like, I really can't add more machinery and stuff into the mix right now because it would be too much. It would go ignored. I've really been eyeing up the foil stamping machine for a long time though, and I have one picked out. So if either one of those machines come this year, it will probably be the foil machine, and then pencils would follow shortly after, which I think would be a fun offering because we do all the journals and stuff. Like, it's just a really good complementary product. And yeah, but anyways, So that is my 2025 bingo board. I am so excited about this and I can't wait to see the way that this bingo board fills up over the course of this year. If I missed anything and y'all are still wondering what certain spaces mean or what they entail, just ask in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. And you can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Can You Believe It. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.